Tense situation over in Butler, Pennsylvania. You see Secret Service members escorting the former president into a Secret Service motorcade, getting him to safety after we heard those popping noises coming from somewhere at this event. We're still trying to learn more of those details, trying to get more confirmation. I would like to bring up some tweets because we are getting reaction across the board. This first one we have is from a Fox News correspondent, Bill Malusian. He does have the statement from the Secret Service here detailing this entire event and this situation happening, unfolding just after 6 p.m. Eastern time today. That campaign rally was supposed to be held earlier at around 5 p.m., but it was pushed back at about 5 minutes into the former president speaking is when we heard those popping noises. So we have here the statement in full. It's a bit cut off, but I will read it to you in full. It says this: an incident occurred the evening of July 13th at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service has implemented protective measures, and the former president is safe. This is how an active Secret Service investigation and further information will be released when available. Continuing on with some more reaction from Twitter, we also have another Fox News correspondent here, Jackie Heinrich, saying just now from the White House, the president has received an initial briefing on the incident at former President Trump's rally. We're waiting to learn more about what Biden has to say on this situation. Then we have here a tweet from Team Trump via his spokesperson. President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. He is fine and is being checked out at a local medical facility. More details will follow. And then we also have a tweet from his son, Donald Trump Jr., with a photo here from that rally saying he'll never stop fighting to save America. In this photo, you can also see the blood on the former president's face at the top of his right ear. We did see the moments when he reached for that right ear and he went down behind the podium trying to take cover in this situation. It was very quick, very chaotic. We played it for you here as all of that went down. Let's bring back into the conversation now our national security expert, counterterrorism expert, and also someone who has worked closely with the Secret Service, Hal Kempfer, continues to join me here. Hal, let's keep dissecting the situation as we wait to learn any more official news from investigators looking into this. So I think another question that our viewers may have is, how can this happen with the amount of security that we have at these political events? How is it possible that someone could carry out a heinous act, possibly somewhere where there is so much protection? The Secret Service is there. There's metal detectors. People are very vigilant. So how could this have gotten through?
Well, we don't know at this time how close the shooter or shooters got. What we see is clearly that something had struck him around the ear. We see blood. That's where he reached. So somewhere around the ear, and I'm assuming it probably hit his ear. And then you see obviously blood that was smeared across his face. But he didn't. It doesn't look like it was. And certainly the reports are that he's fine. I'm going to probably assume that it wasn't a traumatic injury. It was one. As they would have said. He got winged in the ear, and there would be a lot of blood loss if you got shot in or around your ear. So that's what we're seeing there. But now look in the scene. See where all those people in the back, to his right or left side of the screen. Now, instinctively, if there's something like this going on, people want to see what's happening, and you see a lot of people looking down, trying to see what's going on with President Trump. But what you see is a lot of people, as you look to the left-hand side, they're looking out because there's something that got their attention. And that something may have been a shooter. And if you look at where his head was positioned, looking off to the right, when he reached up to his ear and we heard the popping noise, that is indicative that somebody could have been out there that may have shot something. That would also probably explain why we've heard nothing more about anybody. As you see, he's surrounded by people. So if there were shots from, say, down below up to him, you would expect with multiple shots, somebody in and around him or behind him might have been hit. And there's been no reports that anybody was hit. which would be, if I'm looking at everything there, there's a couple of channels, if you will, where if a shot was fired, that a round that was not stopped would and kept going, would have probably landed somewhere where it wouldn't have impacted anyone, and that would be indicative of something coming off based on what we're seeing. We don't know. We don't have enough information yet, but based on what we're seeing, something coming off for the right-hand side. And so that they're going to be looking for the round. They're going to be looking what everybody's doing. And by the way, you saw that picture that was posted that shows him with the blood smeared on his face, and you see his ear, and he's up on the stage. I don't know if that was the official photographer, but I'm guessing that may have actually been taken from somebody who was down close to the stage, and they may have posted that immediately on social media, and that got picked up, and then that got as we would have said, retweeted or forwarded out there. And so that tells you how fast this is. It also tells you how Secret Service and others will be looking for any information, anything they can gather and glean. That can give them any idea of where the shot came from, what the circumstances are, and of course they're trying to figure out, again, as we talked about before, is this a one-off? Was it just a lone wolf doing something at a political rally, or is this part of something much larger? Could this be part of a broader conspiracy? And if you want to go back historically, Lincoln was assassinated, President Lincoln, in Ford's Theater. But it was part of a much larger conspiracy. That was part of a larger conspiracy to take over the government. If you may recall, not too many months ago, there was a plot that was uncovered in Ukraine, assassination plot, where they were going to take out, President Zelensky and others as a plot to overthrow the government. Now, obviously, Donald Trump is not the sitting president, so there wouldn't be anything that would upset the government, if you will. But he is, they're down to two candidates for president. It is an election year. And so it could be something that has very, obviously something that probably has some sort of political motive with that. And that makes it wonder, is there possibly more than just this one thing that they're seeing? And I would imagine that a number of people,
KFC ketchup on his ear.
a number of
somebody said the same shit.
Very high-profile individuals in the Biden administration and other senior political figures are probably getting some, if they're not actually being hustled off to someplace for safety, they are being told, you need to stay put. Do not go out. Do not do anything until we got a better handle on what this is all about.
Al, we're going to keep you here on the line as we continue to follow the latest developments. I'd like to bring into the conversation now, though, my colleague, Austin Westfall. He is standing by here working to get more information. Austin, I know that some more reaction is coming in. What have you learned?
We're hearing from the White House press pool that the president is getting an updated briefing from the following individuals. Kimberly Cheadle, she's the director of the United States Secret Service. Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who is with the Department of Homeland Security, as well as Liz Sherwood Randall, who is the assistant to the president and Homeland Security advisor. So how Homeland Security, Secret Service, what are going to be these agencies' respective roles in an ongoing investigation of this magnitude?
Well, Secret Service has lead, and I should mention the Secret Service is part of the Department of Homeland Security. So what you're seeing there is a chain of command. You're seeing the head of the Secret Service there, which makes sense because this is an attack on a protectee, a Secret Service protectee, a candidate for president. So they would be the obvious, first up. Secretary Mayorkas would be there because he is the cabinet member that for Homeland Security, and overall, this is something that he has larger cognizant authority over. But they're also looking at a variety of other things. Remember, next week is the RNC, the Republican National Convention. Now, I'm not sure what level that is, but sometimes these things, depending on what's going on, can be designated a national security special event. If that happens, security for that is led by the Secret Service because of the serious nature of what it is. If you see things like the Super Bowl or major sports events or things like that, that high profile that terrorists might try to take advantage of. Many times they will be designated national security special events, and the Secret Service has the lead for that. But with that, they're backed up by everything else within the Department of Homeland Security. And in fact, they may grab special agents from other departments like Homeland Security investigations or other parts and components, if you will, of Department of Homeland Security, and to buttress up the total force that's out there that they can use, that they can utilize in protecting the event or protecting the protectee or protecting both, I should say,
you already know.
in these situations. And I imagine right now, if I was in charge of security at the Republican National Convention, I think by this point I would have everybody that was working with me would be in there, and there would be some very rapid planning going on for next week. And I imagine there's going to be some things that they're doing to improve the security posture. They've certainly probably adjusted the threat condition or the threat con, if you want to call it that, in terms of what that's going to look like. And they're also looking at every other political event in the country.
How much more attention?
This is not just one thing. They're going to be looking at whatever President Biden's doing. They're going to be looking at whatever Vice President Harris is doing. They're going to be looking at any major high-profile political events. I would imagine they're looking at all the potential vice president nominees, or the short list, if you will, of those that might be picked as the Republican vice president. And I imagine they will be contacting all of them and saying, "Hey, you need to kind of, pardon the expression, hunker down. You don't need to go out and do things. You might want to take a heightened security posture. And if they don't have security, they should probably do that. Now, if they are a sitting governor or something like Governor Youngkin, he would have his own state security force that would probably heighten his personal security. And then, of course, for those who might be a senator, the Capitol Hill Police has personal security individuals who might be immediately assigned to some of these, those who might be on the short list or those who might be higher profile. And then they're going to be also looking at, leaders in Congress, and in fact, it'll go across all of government. Every cabinet member has a security detail. The Supreme Court has their own police force. They have security details. So all of this will be increasing commensurately until they figure out what has happened here. They don't know exactly what the circumstances are. And to my knowledge, and Austin, you're watching this closer than I am right now, I don't think they have a perpetrator or perpetrators in custody, from what I gather.
Hal, we're actually following that closely right now, and what I can say is that we're seeing some initial reporting, and if a producer in the room can correct me here, I'm seeing some reporting from the Washington Post to indicate that Trump was grazed by gunfire, but a safe and audience member, according to WAPO, was killed, and the shooter is dead. Another person is in serious condition. We're working to get that confirmed ourselves, but the Washington Post is reporting that for now. So just to back up, an audience member dead, the shooter dead, another person in serious condition, according to the Washington Post. So Hal, when you hear that the shooter is dead, what comes to mind? How could this thing have gone down? We really don't have a lot of details to go off of right now.
No, but that's a lot of information. And that really does narrow down the possible scenario. That kind of gives me an idea of maybe where the round may have come from. Obviously, it hit somebody, an audience member. We don't know where in the audience they were, where it came from. But somebody around him obviously was, and that the person was killed. What's not clear here is was somebody else possibly wounded. The fact the shooter is dead, that could be a couple of things. In some cases, they will take their own lives after they do something like this. In other cases, it could be what we didn't see was when you heard that initial gunfire, perhaps some of that follow-on gunfire was actually law enforcement or Secret Service out there taking down the shooter. So we're getting a lot more information as far as what this is looking like. And the fact that they have shot the shooter, or they've taken out the shooter, means that they're doing a deep dive to figure
Come
out
on,
everything
bite Trump.
around them.
The shot
They're
by
looking,
Trump.
you know, obviously collecting any physical
Like
evidence,
bees.
if there's a vehicle around, anything like that, wherever they live, they're going to be looking at that. They'll also be doing a very deep dive on all their social media. They'll be
I
looking
ain't
at,
never seen
you
nobody
know,
react like
anything
that
that you've been doing
gunshot.
online
He
because
tapped his, he tapped
there may
his
be
ear, like, I'm
connections
talking
that
about right
just
after,
aren't apparent right now that they're going to
right
find.
after he got grazed. He grabbed his
All
ear
right,
like,
Hal, so we continue
oh,
here
damn,
to
they
show
grazed me.
some more of that footage from earlier today. I do want to bring up this,
That ain't
though,
no real
breaking
bullet.
news. It has been confirmed by the
Oh
Associated
man, I
Press.
don't know. This
We
is
have here shooter
this
dead
for
and
the
rally
campaign. Somebody says
attendee
it's a
killed
plan for the
at Trump
campaign
event in
publicity.
Pennsylvania,
Oh,
Butler
like what
County
we just
District
said
Attorney
earlier.
tells the
We just
AP.
said the
So
same thing
we
earlier,
are going to
Sabri.
continue on this conversation, of course, but for right now, for anyone that has just joined us, I do want to go ahead and
We just
re-wrap
said the same thing
that
earlier.
entire chaos, that incident that happened earlier today. We have been showcasing on the screen, but of course without sound, and I think it's very important for the audience to just hear in full exactly what happened. So I'd like to play that out for everyone here. Next.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened. Take a look at what happened. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened.
Look at this.
Take a look at what happened. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened. Take a chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened.
He's checking his ear. He checking his ear. Like, oh look.
That's when he probably had the ketchup on himself.
That's why he put the ketchup on right there. That's why he put the hold on. Let's catch that back.
Do you see a ketchup pack falling out his pocket?
Hold on. I think that's where the ketchup went on
Might
right
hit it
there.
in his hat. He probably hit it in his hat. You notice his hat was all.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened.
It's a real new world, a lot of stuff, bro. Yeah, that's okay. That's in the cartoon.
Let me get my shoes. I got you. Let me get my shoes. Hold on, your head is bloody. So we're gonna move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Watch out.
It's some hero. There's a different type of hero and stuff. Oh man, it's a big actor. They put on a show. this looks like a showcase kind of thing.
Okay, there you have it. The very scary, intense moments from earlier
Very
today
intense.
in Butler of Pennsylvania. They're at a campaign rally for the former president. We do have a breaking news at this moment, courtesy of Blake Hansen over at Fox News. Here, he says the AP is confirming shooter dead and rally attendee killed at Trump event in Pennsylvania. Butler County District Attorney tells
we believe
the AP.
the news?
Let's continue on dissecting this entire
we
chain of
believe the
events and where
news?
this investigation goes from here. Joining me once again, I have my colleague Austin Westfall, and also national security expert, counterterrorism analyst, and also someone who has worked closely with the Secret Service, Hal Kemper. Austin, I understand that you also had some comments to make about this breaking news and something you would like to ask Hal.
So, I'll just reset real quick for the folks that may just be joining. Donald Trump's campaign says that he is, quote, fine after being whisked off of the stage after those apparent gunshots rang out. The quote that the campaign sent out says that President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. He is fine and is being checked out at a local medical facility. More details will follow. We've also heard from the Secret Service in a statement that says that the former president is safe. We do know that President Biden has been briefed on the matter. He's met with the director of the Secret Service. He's also met with the head of the Department of Homeland Security, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. So, Hal, my question for you, we're talking about a rally attendee being killed. We're working purely in the realm of speculation here, but there were people sitting behind Trump. This is not out of the question that this could have been some sort of collateral damage.
Oh, the attendee that was killed certainly was collateral damage. I would say at this point, the working assumption would be that President Trump was a target. I don't think anybody would assume that they were aiming at anybody else. I can't imagine any scenario where someone would plan to murder someone or to shoot someone at a presidential rally. That just wouldn't happen. That wouldn't make any sense. So obviously President Trump was the target, but look, he's surrounded by people. If you look at what's going on there are so many people around him. Initially, when we didn't have any reports anybody had been hit, I was a little bit surprised. There are so many people there that if a round came from almost any direction, one might assume it was going to hit somebody. And of course, it does tell you something that it not only hit someone, but they are deceased, which will, I could make some inferences on, without knowing anything about the ballistics, that it has to be a fairly substantial round that would do that. So I'm thinking it could be a very small caliber round, and that would be consistent with what we heard. But with that said, now that I know that somebody in the area was actually killed, depending on how many rounds were fired, that could be a larger caliber round that was further out. We don't have a lot of information on this. That's the issue right now. We don't know much. It could have been something as small as a 22, which is a very small round. It could have been something larger, like a 380. Those tend to be smaller rounds, or sometimes called 9mm short. Those are smaller rounds, or a 25 caliber round. These are all smaller rounds, and these might be rounds that somebody would put in, say, an improvised firearm that they could basically sneak into a rally like this and maybe use it as a weapon. They wouldn't have. They probably wouldn't have a lot of rounds that they could fire. It wouldn't be a fully fledged firearm like a regular semi-automatic weapon. They'd probably be very limited in what it could do. And but that could have been somebody who was right there. Although what we see is that there was somebody. Everybody turned off, to President Trump's right, and they were all looking out that direction. And so I'm waiting to find out where this individual. Where they actually engaged him and basically killed him, the shooter. I want to find that out because it looks like the round did come from President Trump's right hand side. He was turned to the right, and he got winged in the ear. He got grazing fire in the ear, and he has an injury there. And it could be that somebody was aiming for his head. And with something like that, he may have tilted his head. He could have done a lot of things that basically was very fortuitous in terms of he moved in such a way that it wasn't a more catastrophic injury. But we don't know. We don't know all the circumstances. What we do know is that obviously he's okay, with the exception, of course, he has a small injury in his ear where the round hit. But we don't have a lot of other stuff. But they're going to be looking very closely. A lot of times, as we say in the terrorism world, before they're acting out in the real world, they're usually active as you can imagine in the virtual world. And they're communicating through social media and various other platforms with like-minded individuals that may have the same sort of violent extremist beliefs that they have, assuming that this is a violent extremist thing, which it could be simply some other motivation. It could be mental illness. It could be a lot of different things. But they're going to be looking at that to find out, is there more than just this one incident? Is there possibly a broader conspiracy? Could there be others out there who are planning to do something connected to this? And that's what they're going to be trying to figure out very quickly.
All right, Hal, we're going to keep the conversation going with you. Austin Westfall, my colleague here, going to be preparing to continue on this coverage. Austin, thank you so much for joining us as we continue with this developing story and everything that you've been able to provide to this context. We're going to see you up here in just a little bit. For everyone else that's going to stick with us here, though, Hal, I want to continue on with kind of the next steps. I did have a question when it comes to this rally and everything that happened there. I did see that almost immediately after they escorted the former president out of there, everybody kind of dispersed and all of the attendees left. Is that protocol? Wouldn't it be almost beneficial to investigators to kind of keep witnesses there on the scene, or how do they go about processing that and making sure that no suspect were to get away? Of course, we do know now that the shooter is dead. One person was killed. But again, how does that entire process work?
Well, normally what they want to do is, first off, they don't necessarily want to keep them in place. They don't necessarily want to keep them, in the stands. I mean, that's an active crime scene. They have to investigate that. So they're going to want to move people to another area where they can interview them. They can do anything else. They can look at any potential forensic evidence that they may have on them. And so they're going to be doing a lot of that. They will probably move them out, and I would hope in an orderly manner. That's been an issue with crowd control, and that's one of the things I do is I work on what's called crowd management, train crowd managers for incidents like this on how we move people from point A to point B to where we can control the situation and do all these other things that have to be done. And hopefully that's the case. Now, there have been events in the past where there was a shooter, and sometimes the crowd disperses, and it happens so quickly that there isn't a lot of control on where they go. And it's very difficult because they have to go back and figure out who was there, and it can make for a very lengthy investigative process, and there can be gaps in the investigation because they're trying to figure out who was there and who wasn't there. So they're going to be doing that. The other thing they're going to be doing is they're also going to be looking at all the video from people's cell phones, from media, from everything else. And they're going to be trying to identify everybody who was at this rally. They want who they are, why they were there. They're going to want all the information they possibly can. They're going to interview each and every one of them. And they're also going to be keeping in mind that there could have been, depending on what they find out, they're going to be looking initially to find out if there are any other potential co-conspirators, if you will. Somebody that could have been in the crowd that was planning on either that was doing something to assist the shooter, or maybe was there in some sort of assistant sort of role. Maybe they were a backup shooter or something. There could be a lot of different scenarios that they have to rule out very quickly. Secret Service is extremely good at this. They know the mind of a would-be assassin or assassins probably better than anybody else in the world. That's what they do. They fully understand the mindset, whether it's based on violent extremist beliefs, whether it's based on some sort of mental illness, if you will, a variety of other motivations that they might have. And they have this pretty much figured out as far as what to look for. And so they're going to be doing all of these things, but they're also going to be collecting a lot of evidence. And that's one of the reasons they want to move people in an orderly manner. They want to kind of get them out of there, but they also want to start collecting evidence from them as well. And of course, it's an active crime scene. I mean, not only has a former president been injured, but there's actually been a homicide that took place. So they're investigating that.
All right, Hal, we are continuing to show the moments when all of that happened earlier today in Butler, Pennsylvania. Stick with us here. I do want to pull up this photo that we have from Donald Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr. In the aftermath of that, you do see the blood on the president's face and just above his right ear. Let's get to the latest from the Associated Press here. They say this: Donald Trump's campaign said in a statement that the...
So all of this are just nice now, you know, more nice than I come for making away, you know, people. So the reason why me even go live with it and talk about it for a second here is because me know say Donald Trump staying at the news already. So what more attention does Donald Trump need? That is the question. Why would Donald Trump need any more attention? Why would he do something like this for a campaign? But can they stage something like this? Yeah. These people are Hollywood. I'm saying people are working in Hollywood, you know. I'm good with the acting and on the bullet. But them say them kill somebody still, so we're not sure how real that is, but these people do work in Hollywood. Remember that Donald Trump is a big actor and had a show and have his own show and all them things there. Yeah, he has his own show, so yeah. He's pretty much used to playing actor. We seen him touch up his ear in the first couple shots. He was already acting like, yeah, somebody come and look at the guys and run up on the stage and squeeze the ketchup on his ears. We don't know people, we don't Hey yo, we don't know. I'm just over here talking shit. But you know me, I said, boy, man, tell her. Do we ever know? Do we ever know? That's the question. Do we ever know with these people? These people good at setting up shows, you know. Show you what you want to see. Magic tricks, you know. Camera tricks. Ain't no telling, you know, so we can't jump to any conclusion and say, oh man, yeah, you know. Because if it was a real shooter out there want to kill Trump and so them get a chance. When I say that, I don't see nobody give nobody a chance to shoot at Trump right now. I don't see it. That seems more set up to me, like, but maybe the rules them come out with lately, nobody don't want to hear that shit either. Look at plans them where he's been. What the plans them, Michael? Let me look and tell you some of the plans Trump been. Hold on. Can't even show you right now on the phone, but yeah, some crazy stuff. It seems staged, fam. Most of us. Most of us said the same thing. But some people are saying it's actually a real thing, so we're gonna, you know. Let's continue here with these people.
Former president was, quote, fine after a shooting at his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. A local prosecutor says the suspected gunman and at least one entity are dead. President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. A spokesman, Stephen Chung, said in a statement, a quote, again, he is fine and is being checked out at a local medical facility. More details will follow. The Secret Service also said in a statement that the former president is safe. Butler County District Attorney Richard Goldigger said in a phone interview that the suspected gunman was dead and at least one rally attendee was killed. We are continuing to follow this developing story that happened just after 6 p.m. on the East Coast, people. Just after 3 p.m. on...
People just heard it and went live, seeing I wasn't even planning to go live right now. You know what I say? Yeah, so prepared for eternity. Yeah, he went down with the ketchup pack. With a KFC ketchup pack or a McDonald's ketchup pack and squeeze it on his ear. That's what we was over here. We don't know what, you know. Some people are going to be mad at us for laughing at that, right? But hey, what? So what? Same thing now. 2 plus the shooter are dead. Exactly. That's what I say. People dead, so obviously something, you know, it's a real deal. Somebody nicked his ear in real life. The shooter was aiming for his head, it seems. The shooter was going for the head, right? That's what it really looked like. Yeah. If he gets shot on his ear, they definitely was going for the head, but yeah.
The West Coast joining us once again to continue to dissect this situation is Hal Kemper. national security expert, also an expert in counterterrorism, and has worked closely with the Secret Service. Hal, any more thoughts as we continue to learn all of these developments? Again, that attendee was killed, suspected shooter dead. I know that we heard those popping noises when I played out some of that scene from earlier today. Would you be able to tell what kind of weapon was used in that scenario?
At this point, we don't know enough. And one of the things I would point out is we're relying on an audio feed that came from from media that's there. And so it's difficult. Obviously, from an audio feed, we have zero direction. We can't tell where it came from. We have no ability to do that. And what we hear
2024
could have been muffled.
It's 2024, and this dude said we have no ability to know where it came from. Stop talking bullcrap. The man them know every damn thing what happened out there. They got Google Earth and satellites. Even JFK shooter. Hey, I ain't gonna say nothing about it. It's all good.
Could have been,
let the news tell what. Let the news go ahead with their bullshit.
Off of other things that are out there. You saw a lot of tentage and a variety. You got a lot of people out there. All of this does things with sound that can be, certainly from where we are, a little bit difficult to ascertain exactly what kind of weapon it is. The fact that it sounded like it was more than one shot. It sounded like it was multiple shots in rather quick succession. Would indicate that it may have been a small arm, possibly a smaller ballistic weapon, maybe. And if it was a pistol, assuming it's not a rifle, they said they took out the shooter. They killed the shooter.
They killed the shooter, but they don't know what he was shooting.
And that would indicate that the shooter was probably in fairly close proximity.
They lying so much. It sounds like a sack of shit that even you saying a sack of crap. Hear what they must say about? They killed the shooter, but they don't know what type of weapon he was shooting. But they killed the shooter. They killed the shooter, but they can't reveal what type of weapon he was shooting. They don't know what type of weapon it was. Stop telling. That's so crap.
The most important thing is who is he? They didn't reveal who he was. The shooter itself.
Yeah.
Who?
I don't know yet. That's what I'm saying. I still don't know. They're not revealing not much, but the fact that they killed the shooter, but still we don't know what he was shooting. They don't know what type of gun, where it came from, but they say they killed the shooter. That's weird.
Unless weird. They just got really lucky, but it would probably be in closer proximity. That, again, is a supposition. We don't have any details. We don't know that for sure. But if that's the case, it could have been a smaller weapon, and it may have been something like an improvised weapon, sort of what was used, maybe something that was designed specifically to evade all the security precautions in a rally like this. And if that's the case, it may be a smaller caliber weapon. Could be a 22, 25.
To everybody watching, please do, subscribe and stay tuned for the official GTerra live videos. I'm just observing right now. Like I said, this news just got to me. I'm going to say, I'm going to go live right away. I'm not even sure if I flip the screen the right way. To all the people on the mobile phones, it's probably better for you than anybody on the laptop, probably. But yeah, definitely, I'm subscribed and stay tuned. Like I said, this one just off the rip, just off the strength right away because it's a breaking news. You know what I'm saying?
It could be a 380, a smaller type
could
weapon.
Be a 380.
In terms of the type of ballistics involved, in terms of the rounds that would have been fired. But we'll find that out. We'll also find out how the person killed was killed. Were they behind former President Trump, or in around former President Trump? Was that how they were hit? Could it have been somebody that was closer to the shooter? Could have been somebody that got in front of the shooter or in front of the shooter while they were shooting, or somebody who saw the shooter and tried to take action. We have no information on that right now, and so we're going to find out more about that situation as it develops. But there's going to be a lot of evidence gathering. There's going to be a lot of investigation with physical forensics on scene, looking at everybody's feeds, whatever they were streaming out there, but also looking at anything online with the shooter themselves to figure out who was this person connected with, who are they talking to, is there a broader conspiracy, do they need to change the threat condition across the board. These are all things the Secret Service is doing in conjunction with other law enforcement agencies.
Wow.
Hal, I do want to bring up this photo that we just got into our newsroom, courtesy of our partners over at Fox 4. Very jarring images that we see there. The moment, it seems, when former President Trump ducked down behind the podium, you see the blood trickling down his face. It must have been so scary for him, as it was for people that attended this rally. I'd like you to tell our viewers a little bit about the Secret Service detail that does follow the former president. You had mentioned earlier in our conversation, he is not a current sitting president, but still, he does have heavy security around him at all times. Can you tell our viewers how that works?
Well, he has a security detail. It's not as robust as the sitting president. The sitting president has other things that they have to be concerned with. For example, they are the commander-in-chief, so they have to maintain communications. They have the infamous launch codes, if you will, for nuclear weapons. There's a lot of things that surround the sitting president that a candidate for president wouldn't have. What they have is a security detail that is really there to protect the protectee, if you will, which is the candidate. In this case, the candidate's former President Trump. So there is a fairly robust capability there. There will be some medical expertise on hand, whether they have a paramedic. I don't know whether they have I would imagine with an event like this, they would probably have something along the lines of an ambulance or something nearby, if for nothing else, just to deal with the heat issues in crowds like this in case somebody gets ill. But with that, the detail itself will have some sort of emergency capability, emergency medical capability. And of course, they're fully prepared. They know that what they do, that their protectee, the reason they're there is because somebody may try to shoot them or try to blow them up. And therefore, or something else, and therefore...
Hal, I'm sorry, excuse me, I do have to cut you off for a moment here, because here on your screen we do have some more breaking news from the Associated Press saying law enforcement officials say shooting at Trump rally is being investigated as attempted assassination of ex-president. Those are powerful words to hear today, especially after seeing what happened at that rally. What do we make of this?
Well, what I make of this is what I kind of expected. I mean, if somebody was killed in whatever happened, if there was a bystander that was killed, and of course, the former president was wounded, even though it's not a serious or life-threatening wound, if you will, you have to look at this and say, look, that was a bona fide attempted assassination. That's
bona fide attempted assassination. They say it's a bona fide attempted assassination. They say. Everybody in the building, please look out for the real G-Terra live videos coming soon. G-Terra new music dropping soon. G-Terra featuring KRS-One. That's real. I got the evidence of that for real. I got proof. Big up to everybody in the building. Please do like the video. I said we're gonna talk about this some more, reason about it a little bit. Like I said, it's the off the rip live. Didn't plan to go live. The news just came through, breaking. Couldn't believe it. Unbelievable shit, man. Unbelievable shit, man. Trump was already in the news every day and night. What more attention did Trump need? So I'm thinking Trump wouldn't do this to get attention. Trump already getting all the attention in the world every day, every night. But, we got a campaign that he might need to look like some type of hero that survived the war, I don't know. This guy is Hollywood, y'all remember? Trump come from Hollywood. Trump is a part of Hollywood. I seen Trump in a Martin. I think Trump was on a Martin Lawrence show. Trump has been acting for years, so, he could have had him as props, his ketchup props and all that. Who knows, fam? I'm just saying, You tell me what you think, Real or fake? Attention grabbing ass Trump, Trump love the attention, fam, It's not like people don't know that. People all around the world know Trump love the attention. Trump love to be in the limelight. Trump love to talk that big shit. And his fans love it. Yeah. Obviously. I'm not here to knock nobody's opinion, but I'm just an observer. You know, we're just observers over here. Please support the channel by subscribing. We reason on these topics. We don't make judgment and criticize anyone based on what their beliefs or what they think. That's okay. Everybody have their own brain and mind to draw whatever type of conclusion or opinions they have. That is each and every one got one. It's not nothing to be so judgmental about. You got your own thoughts and opinions. Sometimes what you think is foolishness. Sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're wrong. Hey, can't be judging everybody pointing fingers. But hey, all I'm saying is Trump loved the limelight. We already know that. But would he set up that if he gets shot at though? Eh? You think he would set that up though? Is he that narcissistic is the question. Possibilities are, you never know. Could be. Could be. But we don't know. So, because I don't know and I'm not there, I'm not going to jump to a conclusion. I'm just going to look and be the observer.
Somebody was trying to kill former President Trump. And it's fortunate that it did not happen, that he was grazed. And, Secret Service was able to get him out of there, get him to safety. And whatever did happen, whatever wounds he has, they're dealing with those. But with that, I would fully expect that's the way they're gonna handle this. And in fact, I would expect they're gonna treat it as an attempted assassination, unless there's some compelling evidence that it wasn't an attempted assassination, because that would be kind of a immediate default of what you have to go into, as what are you looking at? And I can't imagine any other conclusion that they would have at this point based on everything we've seen.
I think that was going to be my next question. To say attempted assassination, what kind of evidence would have to be in place for investigators to come to that conclusion? But I guess what you were trying to say here is that it is an attempted assassination unless proven otherwise.
Well, based on just what they have right there, you have the protectee was wounded. Again, not a life-threatening wound, but it was a serious attempt. And then somebody that was there was killed, was murdered, if you will. And so that obviously, if somebody was killed, then whatever use of force that the assassin.
Oh yes, I survived the gunshot. Yes, they tried to kill me, but I survived. Right, and then he puts up the hand. That part right there is just, I can't get over that part right there. That part right there seemed plotted. The plot twist is like, yes, I survived. They tried to blow my head off. You ever seen somebody nearly get killed and right after there, yeah, celebration time. They didn't kill me. Them tried to get me and didn't get me. Yeah, I survived the gunshot. Look, they nicked my ear. Or was it my toupee? People, we live in Hollywood. The whole world is now Hollywood, family.
The assassin or the shooter had was serious enough that they could have obviously killed former President Trump had they hit him if there had been a different type of shot. So they have to kind of treat that as an attempted assassination.
Trump gonna be looked at as a straight gangster now. Survived the killing. They tried to kill me. They tried to kill me, and I saw. They fired them shots, but yeah, they killed the shooter. I know. They said they killed the shooter, so got shot in the head and he's still alive. No, I'm not get shot in the head. You got grazed. He didn't get JFK. Trump did not get the JFK treatment. Trump got a, I don't know what type of shooter that was. It seemed like the shooter was a, did the shooter, they said the shooter hit somebody else or something? I don't know. But them said them killed the shooter.
Yeah, they said
Other people got hit. Yeah. Because I heard multiple.
They're talking more about Trump than they are him.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Like
man.
they don't matter.
Oh, man. What can I say? This is people. Let us go live off the rip soon as me hear the news, and I'm not even if I flip my phone the right way. Let me see something real quick. I'm not even know the blood. Yeah, all this crazy right now, fam. That man telling you. Madness. I'm telling you right now, mad thing.
Right now, there would be no other conclusion I certainly could come to that this was anything but an attempted assassination. This wasn't, you know, there was some speculation initially when they didn't know if there was, if former President Trump had actually been hit. There was some speculation that maybe it could have been firecrackers or something like that. And certainly, you could have said that initially, maybe if you didn't have any information, and then there was some speculation out there on that. Obviously, this is nothing like that. This was a bona fide attempt to, assassinate a political candidate, and they were using a weapon capable of deadly force because not only did it injure the former president.
That wasn't meant for Trump, man. A joke thing, man. If them real sharpshooter come out, that's what you thought, Naya. If them real sharpshooters had come out and it was a real thing, man, Trump would have been a dead man right now. Facts. That's exactly what I say. That's a joke thing. No, that ain't no real shooter. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, maybe it's real as a shooter was out there. Okay, yeah, okay. If you don't want to believe that, okay, cool. No problem. I won't disregard a person for believing that it could be true. But I'm just saying the shooter is trash. That was 50 Cent shooter out there, Krista.
What?
That was 50 Cent shooter that was shooting at Trump.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know they missed.
What?
It was the same dude that shot up 50. I think that dude died too. Oh, my bad. I thought it was the same dude that shot up 50 Cent that shot at Trump.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
It's all a stage. The world is not a stage.
Yeah, a big stage. People are sharpshooter. That was no sharpshooter at all, Naya. Trust me, we know.
But I will say this though. If they are ever prove,
yeah.
If the narrative does change before November election comes, and they do prove that might have been staged, Trump can really, he'll have no choice but to forfeit.
Yep.
He already underneath criminal investigation. Well, he's the criminal investigation has been over since the Capitol thing. He's already been found guilty. He's still running. So I'm thinking if they were to have some hardcore evidence that this wasn't set up, what then? They still gonna let him become president?
I don't know. That's the question.
Will he be impeached if he does?
But it killed somebody who was a bystander and somebody else around, and we don't have any information on the particulars on that.
Mad thing say, Trump set up this. Real talk, Naya. All those champions of the Second Amendment could tell shots were fired. None of them duck. None of the people are not ducking at Second Amendment. She was like, don't nobody even live at the White House. So I'm saying they also have a White House as well. I'm saying, trust me, the world is literally a stage. One big stage, fam. Hollywood family, told you. Hollywood teach them the art of making people believe what they want to believe while them run game. So I don't know, because of the fact we live in a Hollywood stage society, and even the government is a part of Hollywood. Hollywood is a part of the government. You get to me and say it's one big thing is a bully, because Hollywood work with the government work with Hollywood. We know that. The CIA, the FBI, all of them are one big bully of people and work together with Hollywood and they work with it. We know the whole of them are bully together in a family. So all the pretending. There's nothing more to life than life itself. They pretend, oh, the rich and the famous, but yo, I gotta say the truth, you know.
But obviously, that tells you whatever weapon they have was capable of causing a fatal injury.
All right, so looking here again at that very powerful and compelling image that we have from our partners at Fox 4 News, we're going to continue on throughout the course of this evening as we learn more from this very scary situation over in Butler, Pennsylvania, happening earlier today. Hal Kemper, stick with us here on the line. We're going to continue to speak with you as we learn more. We're dissecting the situation. Just reports that it's being investigated as an attempted assassination. We're going to have more from you coming up in a little bit. Stick with us here. But for now, everyone else that is continuing to join us, or if you are just joining us now, we are following following this breaking news from earlier today in Butler, Pennsylvania. Two people dead, the shooter and also an attendee that attended the Trump rally. We did carry that moment live for you. We have been playing it for you throughout the course of this evening in case you have missed it, so you can see the moment that all of this unfolded. I would like to go ahead and reset now that we're about to hit the top of the hour here. We're going to continue our commentary. We are nonstop as we continue to get more information from this. Again, a shooting at a Trump rally from earlier today, now being investigated as an attempted assassination. If you are just joining us now, watch the moments this all unfolded. All right, before we do showcase that, as I said, this is developing and we continue to get breaking news. We have President Biden tweeting on this event. Take a look here. He says this: I have been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I am grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family.
Biden don't mean I'm sorry. What? Biden don't mean none of that shit he said, talking about, I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. Biden don't mean that. You gotta sound sincere, but we know Biden really we seen Biden face in a debate. He really means, I wish they blow his damn head off.
Baby, did you watch the debate? I didn't even watch it.
That's what I was telling you. I was watching it and laughing, son. It was funny. The debate funny enough, blood. Listen, man. The debate between them two, I ain't never watched no boring ass shit like that in my life, but I just decided I was going to watch it because the look on Biden's face just gave off this old...
Like yourself.
Like he ready to fight. Biden wanted to jump out of his 90-year-old body and jump into a younger body and knock Trump out. I'm telling you. It was so funny watching it. And he was like, he's the only felon here, people. And Trump was like, hey, well, he's gonna bring World War III. And World War III's coming. He's gonna bring us right into World War III. Watch, guys. Yeah. And he was like, people here. I'm just watching their facial expression. Man, that thing was freaking hilarious, funny. I'm telling the family. Hilarious. I laughed the whole blood clot debate, Yeah, man. I laughed the whole debate. I tell you that. I couldn't stop laugh. I look upon them and talk them shit. And then one of them face a squinch. Yeah. Like they mad. What? That thing was funny as ever.
Family, and for all those who were at the rally as we await further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service.
You ain't
the
grateful.
President here echoing.
You know they lying. Biden over there like, damn, they missed. Biden probably set it up. That's some gangsta ass shit Biden did, yo. I'm just playing, man. I'm sorry, man. Excuse me, people. I got, as you can see, I'm tripping over here. Subscribe right now and stay tuned for the real G-Terra live right now. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, damn, they missed. Man, who paid them shooters? You paid them shooters, Billy? Yeah, you better get some better shooters next time, man. We trying to get, man, y'all miss, man. Y'all done fucked up my money, man. I paid, who got them shooters? Them shooters was trash. Did they use sniper rifles? Of course it's gonna get spoofed. It gotta get spoofed. You're gonna be like, oh, Biden sitting back. Like Mr. Smithers. Not Mr. Burns. Yeah, man. Oh, man. This is crazy.
Similar statements that we heard from the former President Trump earlier today as he thanked law enforcement and also the Secret Service agents that helped during that time, as we heard those shots ring out during that rally. The former president taking to the podium and speaking at around 6 p.m. Eastern time. That rally was supposed to happen.
Everybody know the views here are just me being a comedian, musician, a little bit of comedy, Big up Shakira, respect and love queen. Naya TV, love and respect. Marina, everybody in the building, prepare for eternity, love and respect. Everybody hear me. everything I'm saying is just out of comedy on my side. I'm not, just out of laughter.
At 5 p.m. Eastern time. It was about an hour late. About 5 minutes into the former president speaking is when those shots first rang out. But again, here on your screen, we are finally getting official word and a statement from President Biden saying, again, I have been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally as we await further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service. Again, though, if you are just joining us, we have just hit the top of the hour, and we are going to once again showcase the moment that all of that unfolded earlier today in Butler, Pennsylvania. Let's
Biden
watch.
put a hit on Trump. I'm just playing.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened. That's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened. Let me get my shoes. Hold on, your head is bloody. So we gotta move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Okay. Watch out. Wait. And look what happened to.
Okay, so that clip playing back, and this is something that we're going to stick with for the rest of the evening. We do have national security analyst Hal Kemper still standing by with us here. We're going to keep talking this through. We're getting more and more details in as the evening progresses. As Carell, who so ably has been reporting this breaking news, showed just moments ago, the president has been briefed on the shooting at this rally. He says that he's grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. Biden saying, I'm praying for him and his family and for all of those who were at the rally as we await further information. So, Hal, let's just talk about how we could have gotten here. You've been talking at length about the digital aspect to investigations like this. I'm curious, how do investigators sift through all the noise to find credible information? Because you have to imagine that threats come through the pipeline on the regular.
Yeah, you coming to look at it.
Thought the Secret Service, U.S. Secret Service, does this better than any other organization in the world in terms of
they're good.
Proactive protection. the Secret Service is a little different. Yes, they do investigations, they solve crimes, but in the protection side, when they're looking at protecting, whether it's a
a setup,
candidate or a president or vice president or whoever the protectee is, they have to take a very proactive stance because their goal is not to solve the crime. Their goal is to stop the crime from ever taking place. So they go out there and they are interviewing anybody who threatens or poses a potential threat to whomever it is they're protecting. A lot of times today, that will be found online. It'll be found in social media. It'll be found in various different things, group chats, all sorts of things that people will be saying stuff. And it's not uncommon that they will get a knock on the door from Secret Service agents who will have a little discussion with them to find out more information and to let them know that they're very much on their radar. And more often than not, that's all it takes. And that will deter somebody from doing something. And in many cases,
this is going to be stretched out, Y'all know that, right? We just started. This is just the start of something that's going to get stretched. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? It's going to stretch out day after day after day. We're going to hear the Trump shooting, and since Trump got shot at, Trump shoot, Trump.
I wouldn't be surprised if they stretch all the way to November.
It's going to stretch out past, it's going to stretch out to 2025. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. They already had Trump in the news every day about the criminal activities, his criminal investigation, him not getting no time, them not, even though all the charges will come up on him, still not do 1 day in a prison. Where everybody's like, what? He might get some pardon. Remember the pardon thing? They pardon him from something.
It just all seems too convenient. It's like he keeps getting off scot-free. He gets off from the criminal charges. He even got away from being shot.
So these people are pretty much using the narrative, talking against Trump. Meanwhile, them same one as shake him hand in the background. I'm telling you. Listen. All that stuff here them talking in the news is just a story to keep the active. They know people love Trump news. Some people just love Trump news. When Trump is on, people just sit back and it's like, that's all. They're just listening. They love Trump news, so they keep feeding it to them. It's making money. That's what it's all about. It's money. All that news shit that they're doing is just money. It's a game. It's not even real. Yeah, because Trump is really not even in control of nothing. He's just another puppet. Just like Biden is another puppet. None of these people are in control of nothing in America. The real people running America is these billion-dollar, zillion-dollar corporation. Elon Musk got more pull in America than Trump and Biden put together. Jeff Bezos and them guys. That's who run America. The Bilderbergs and the what you call them? The Rothschilds and the Rockefeller Foundation, and BlackRock. The people who own BlackRock, and them run America. Them run America. And blow Trump and Biden don't even look like he's capable of doing anything but speaking. When he go back to the background, that nigga gotta go to sleep. He could come up to the podium and make the speech, but after the damn speech is over and Biden walk off that stage, it's time to go to sleep, baby. You know what I'm talking about? I gotta take my damn nap. Like, you gotta go to sleep. That old nigga, I'm 90 something. What? I'm not running no country. I'm going to sleep, homeboy. What the fuck is you talking about?
They probably don't want him up in his nap just to make that little speech.
People really think Biden running the country. They crazy as hell. That's how I know people crazy. Bro, if you think Biden running the country, bro, you about crazy as cat shit, yo. You crazy as cat shit. Big up yourself, Byron Butler in that building. Marina. Big up Avian Melville. Y'all already know me, fam. Y'all know me already. You know how I get down, so I'm going to laugh. I'm going to talk that shit. But yo, right now, Biden, it's all love still. No offense to anybody out there that voting and all that stuff. All the politics people. I'm not a politician. I'm not interested in politics too much. It's not my thing. I'm still music and comedy. Still music and comedy over here. See what I say? Don't ramp with me. Yeah, man, Biden, man. He got to take a nap as soon as he finishes his speech. And Trump too, like, what is Trump doing? Trump on this showcase, man.
Someone is spiraling in a certain direction, and they were able to bring resources to bear to deal with what could be mental illness or some other problem that resulted in whatever threat that person may have put out there. So they tend to be very proactive. In this case, somebody obviously got to the rally, somebody actually fired a weapon at former President Trump, killed somebody else who was there. So it was a use of deadly force in that regard, because obviously if it killed somebody, that's deadly force by definition. And so they're going to be looking at how they didn't find this person. That'll be a question they'll ask. But they're also going to be trying to figure out, was this person associated with somebody else? They'll be looking at all sorts of possible motivations of someone who might do something like this, who would want to kill former President Trump. And they'll, I'm sure they'll be looking at the political spectrum of that. And there's unconfirmed reports of who the shooter is, and that's it's unconfirmed right now. But what I saw, they were immediately talking about an organization which is it's an by definition, it's Antifa, anti-fascist.
Wow.
Again, it's unconfirmed. We haven't heard any official thing on that yet. It may come in very quickly, but if that's the case, that would definitely fit. That's a left-wing anarchist organization, and that would certainly make sense that one of their more rabid followers, if you will, might get motivated to do something as heinous as what you see here. That would fit. But I don't want to jump to conclusions, because what we're seeing is just stuff that's been posted online, and frankly, we got to wait till Secret Service comes out and really to give us a real good definition of who this might be.
So when we talk about an event like this was a run-of-the-mill campaign rally. We see President Trump doing these on the weekly. This one was in Butler, Pennsylvania. This is about an hour's drive north of Pittsburgh. What kind of challenges do security officials have to deal with when they're trying to secure an event of this magnitude with a presidential candidate and former president in attendance? What are the challenges with keeping something like this secure out?
There is a whole playlist they go off of. It's kind of like a playbook that they go through, and they do all the, you always hear this, you see it in the movies too, whenever they talk about Secret Service, the advance teams, they go up there, so they will go up there and they will look around the area, they will do a site survey, they will work with local law enforcement, they will work with others that they may bring in just for the event, they will try and contain the area, they will look at access control, they will look at line of sight.
Yeah, man, all of them things are people. I just, let me say, we live in our Hollywood state in our world right now, whole heap of acting, and like I said, I'm not gonna call it all fake, because even if it's set up or not set up, it's still, like I said, people died, so some people lose their life. So the thing is, would these people be so evil, for sacrifice some people's life just to get them campaign more attention, or this type of attention? And that is the question where it really come down to. But can't put nothing past politicians and government people, because they're really dark already. Or, you already see what can happen in the politics era. People get their head blown off. JFK literally died behind the shit, people. So we can't really put nothing past nobody. When it comes to certain things, America gets shifty, and there's a lot of people when nobody don't know what's on their mind, and when they're ready for shoot off and take it up on them head to kill somebody, or based upon what them feel, Yeah, so yeah, man, big up yourself, man. Enough love and respect, what I say? Big up Marina. Preparing for eternity, they said President Trump earlier. Pure mind control in a real life, man, not joke. Sim Mac, big up, demon crats. Demon rats. Them want the demon crats. Yo, listen, man, we're not on the side of the bird. We just there go all the vibes and observe everything that's happening. And it's crazy because, of course, they're going to stretch this news into 2025. Trump shooting, Trump, it's brave Trump. It's going to be a lot of different narratives spinning off of this one narrative right here. You see me? Definitely. It's going to be a lot of spins off of this one narrative. Yeah? We can look forward to that, every day. You have to go switch your channel and have to hear about it. Remember that.
Of potential would-be assassins, where they might position themselves. They look at all sorts of things. Like they're also looking at how do they get the protectee onto the stage? How do they get them off the stage? Where do they position the beast, the vehicle, if you will? the armored vehicles so they can get them out of harm's way, out of possibly being shot or something. And of course, these are all things we just saw play out. Everything you just saw there. So they go through this whole thing and where everybody will stand in proximity. A lot of this is pretty much something that, I mean, it's ingrained in terms of what they do. There's a school. They go through the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, the famous FLETC school at Brunswick, Georgia. I've done training in Brunswick, Georgia, at what's called FLETC out there. But then they go and do additional training, and one of the places they go is to a place near Washington, D.C. called Beltsville. And it's they actually have a full compound, if you will. It's a very extensive thing where they do everything you could possibly imagine in terms of thwarting assassinations. And they go through an extensive training program there where they are vehicular ambushes, everything you can possibly imagine in terms of all the scenarios that they have to be prepared for. So by the time they get out there and do a protectee detail, they're going to have a lot of training under the belt. Now, this particular group, highly trained, they're not the presidential detail. That's a little. Usually, the presidential detail has a lot of other stuff involved with it, and depending on the campaign season, it can really get rather involved. You know, initially in a very robust campaign season, you could have a lot of different candidates out there, all of whom qualify, or most of them will qualify for Secret Service protection. And so they can really drain their resources down. That's a challenge they had. If you remember when President Trump was running for president in 2016, certainly just on the Republican side, there was a lot of different candidates that were running in the primaries. And we kept hearing the Secret Service was spread pretty thin.
So Hal, I don't mean to cut you off here, Hal.
Other resources.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off here, Hal, but we're hearing that President Biden will be speaking very shortly. This is, and we just lost the image. We have another angle that we're watching for, but we are anticipating hearing from the president very shortly on this matter. My colleague Andrew Kraft is standing by right now. We're going to bring him in. Andrew, I want to point out also that we're hearing in from Jackie Heinrich. The Biden campaign tells Fox the Biden campaign is pausing all outbound communications and working to pull down their television ads as quickly as possible. Andrew?
Yeah, Austin, let's talk about the political implications of this. The Biden campaign was in the midst of a $50 million ad blitz this month with spots running in all of the key swing states. The massive ad buy was launched last week, according to reporting from Peter Ducey.
Remember, the ad campaign, and some wicked campaign, called Biden campaign now, I go say Trump at this and Trump at that. Worthless man. How can people even vote for Trump? Because he is a felon and all these things and pedophile. One more something I'm going to say about him. But now that him get shot or see him get bullied, them try to pull back. Biden campaign is pausing all outbound communications and working to pull down them new television ads them as much as possible, because those ads are going to say some negative, terrible things about Trump, and them no longer want to say it since him nearly get bullet in his head, you know. Yo, this is crazy. I wonder if the story really are going. The media is something else. Yeah.
And Jackie Heinrich, the Biden campaign now pausing all outbound communications, and they're working to pull down television ads as quickly as possible in the wake of this attempted assassination attempt on his chief arch rival in the presidential campaign, of course, Donald Trump. We're also learning that President Biden will be making remarks very, very soon. He's home, I believe, in Wilmington, Delaware at the moment. He went to church tonight, as he is customary to do on Saturday nights there at his parish church in Wilmington. And so we're learning that this is going to be coming very, very soon. We have the statement in from President Biden as well. Let's read that. He says, "I've been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally as we await further information It goes on to say, Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it. So, Hal Kempfer, Austin Westfall here in the Live Now newsroom. Definitely a day for the American history books, no less. This is coming 2 days before the start of the Republican National Convention. To Austin Westfall's point, Hal, Donald Trump holds campaign-style rallies weekly. He just had one in Florida this week at his golf course. This has been a common theme and feature of the Trump movement since he came down the golden escalator at Trump Tower in June of 2015. And throughout the duration of the last 8-9 years, we've seen protesters get kicked out of Trump rallies. We have never seen anything like this at a Trump rally. Trump touts his crowd size at these rallies all the time, every chance that he can get. This one turning so deadly and injuring the former president, and he is safe. We're learning as well, of course, from the Secret Service and from senior law enforcement officials, the former president is safe. But the political dynamics, the campaign, the election has fundamentally changed going forward into the later summer here. So we're getting more and more reaction, and we're going to continue to do that here on Live Now with so many Republicans and Democrats alike. I think that's very important to note that from all political stripes, governors, senators, former presidents, wishing the former president a speedy recovery, thanking law enforcement for their quick and decisive actions. And we wait for President Biden to address the nation on this, as well as he faces his own questions on his own campaign.
What if they shoot at
We are
Biden
hearing
now?
from the president right now. Let's listen.
Peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's...
But Biden got that mafia look on his face, though. While he talking this, he still got the mafia look, like, I put that hit on you type look, you know? But I'm apologizing, you know, out of respect for the family. Biden look like Scorsese. Biden looking like what the mafia man them name was. I bust your head, boy. You know what it is. He got that 50 Cent. He got a thumb type. Yo, Biden got some type of gangster look, son. He don't look like he sorry for nobody. Yo, hold on. Let's people up. Hold on, look at him talk. You know,
thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. I have.
It look like he's smirking too, yo. Like, yo, if y'all play with me, that's what happened, yo. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know F would be I D to the E and Biden. I come through swinging with the fighting, hiding, better hiding. When you see Biden, I'm riding with them. Whatever. Damn, son. Biden got a smirk on his face, Mamacita.
This is gonna be bigger than the Kendrick.
Some reports, but not final reports.
Than the Kendrick Lamar
every
Drake
agency,
beef.
the federal government, and I'm going back.
The Kendrick Lamar Drake beef is over officially. We ain't gonna hear nothing about that now. This is the new beef. The new beef on the block right now. This is it.
To my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing as anything happened. They learned more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to him tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
President, do you think there was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to, I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make some comment, any more comments. Thank you.
Hold on. You gotta go back to sleep now. I mean, it's tired. Hold on, let's pull back.
Already failing, Mr. President.
You can't even answer no
Make
questions.
sure we have all the facts before I make some comment, any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President?
Enough to, I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make...
They're like, y'all woke me up from a nap for this. Did the shooters miss? I'm just saying.
Make sure we have all the facts before I make some comment, any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President? Was the security failing, Mr. President?
He's up. Bedtime.
Okay, so we missed the very beginning of those remarks. I want to play those back. Here's Biden speaking just moments ago from the top.
Thanks for coming, folks. I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have engaged in making sure that people, and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to give it, if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. So far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that they're thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do. Okay?
Mr. President, do you think this was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried for your own safety? Was the security failing, Mr. President?
President Biden wrapping up his remarks there. We still have standing by Andrew Kraft and Hal Kempfer both. We have some information in from Jackie Heinrich saying the shooter killed by Secret Service counter sniper team. 2 additional casualties taken to Pittsburgh Hospital, Fox is told, per law enforcement source. We know that Butler, Pennsylvania is about an hour's drive north of Pittsburgh. And before we were listening in to the president, Andrew, I believe you were discussing some of the politics surrounding this.
Well, that's also so true, Austin, that you heard there from President Biden, who said that he tried to reach former President Trump and that hopefully the two will speak eventually. We know the former president is still at the hospital recovering. We're hearing he's in good spirits, but President Biden, his key political rival, did reach out as well. We're hearing from former presidents too, former President George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama all issuing statements as well. But there are so many questions about what happened there at the rally. We have Hal Kempfer on, who has extensive experience with counterterrorism, law enforcement. Hal, you yourself have worked in trainings with Secret Service officials. I want to read the statement in from the Secret Service spokesperson. His name is Anthony Guglielmi. They say this: an incident occurred the evening of July 13th at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service has implemented protective measures and former president is safe. This is now an active Secret Service investigation, and further information will be released when available. We also know the FBI and the ATF are cooperating and assisting with this law enforcement investigation. But we also know, according to sources, this is being described as an attempted assassination attempt. We just got that news in from Jackie Heinrich there, that the suspect, the shooter in this, who is now dead, was taken out by members of a Secret Service task force there on the ground in Butler, PA here. Hal, what do you make of those developments? Because the Secret Service's role in all of this and their response, very quick, we watched it there on the stage. They huddled around the former president, tackled him, got him to safety here. What do you make of the Secret Service's response right now, knowing they took out the shooter? Do you have questions about how they went about this, Hal?
Actually, it looks like it was standard playbook how they do it. The counters. Now that we know that it was a counter sniper that took him out, I'd like to revise something. We have more details.
Okay.
All right. Initially, it was thought maybe this could be somebody who was in close. Maybe it could be a small caliber weapon. If it was a counter sniper that took out whoever the shooter was, it could be the shooter was further out. And again, this goes to sound. The audio is tough to pick up when we're doing it, indirectly here because we aren't physically there. So it could have been a little bit further standoff than, say, using a small arm like a pistol. We will find out. Could be the counter sniper took out somebody standing right by the stage. That's possible too. But it does open up the possibility that this could have been something with a little bit longer range weapon. I wouldn't rule that out at this point. If it was a counter sniper that took him out, and that's what they do. They look around. They're constantly scanning the area to find out if there's a potential threat out there. Of course, once rounds are fired, they zero in on that very quickly to eliminate the threat, which is exactly what they did. Although it's very clear that whatever happened, now we know there were 2 other people that were injured. We had the report that there was somebody killed, and there is no other conclusion that this would have been an attempted assassination. And I think we're just fortunate that the former president was slightly wounded, but wasn't seriously hurt. So I think they did everything that I would expect.
To our country.
They're going to go back and look at it closely, though. I can tell you they're going to look at they're going to be using this for training purposes for years to come to see if there's something they could have done better.
So, Hal, we're getting more details in just on the minute-by-minute, if not second-by-second timeline of how this all unfolded. According to the Associated Press, it took 2 minutes from the moment of the first shot for Trump to be placed in a waiting SUV. As Trump was talking, a popping sound was heard. You're watching the video now. The former president put his right hand up to his right ear as people in the stands behind him appeared to be shocked there. Also, someone could be heard saying near the microphone at Trump's lectern, "Get down, get down, get down, get down," as agents tackled the former president. They piled atop him to shield him with their bodies, as is their training protocol, as other agents took up positions on stage to search for the threat. Hal, we're asking ourselves where the shooter was in this. Is it safe to say, can we make the determination that the shooter themselves, they were not in the large crowd itself? They weren't mixed in with the rally goers there. We know one of these rally attendees was also killed during this shooting here. And we're going to wait on more of the reporting to come in. But you're alluding to the fact that possibly this shooter was not in the crowd at all.
It's possible. A couple things jump out. Number one, taken out with a counter sniper. All right. If I'm a counter sniper, if the individual was in the crowd, that's a more difficult shot, as you can well imagine, because you have somebody, and certainly with the weapons that they're employing, if they were to do that, they would stand the chance of collateral damage. So if that's what they had to do to eliminate the threat, then they probably have to do it. But that's a more difficult shot. But one thing that jumps out when you look at this is former President Trump had his head turned off to the right when he was talking. And then as the shooting starts, he reaches up to his ear. That indicates that somebody had a shot off to the right, because if they were shooting head on, they would have shot him. It would have been a headshot. So they got him off to the right. Of course, if they were off to the right, that would normally be, this is pretty grisly stuff, but that would normally be a better headshot, because they'd have a bigger target, because of because of the shape of his head that they could use. He just turned his head, basically narrowed the potential head target that a shooter would have from that angle. And the other thing that jumps out is right after it's done, a number of people behind former President Trump immediately turned to the right. Something got their attention off to the right, and many of them were staring at whatever was going on off to the right, which indicates that there's a likelihood that the shooter possibly was off to the right, and that may have been where the shot came from. Again, this is just supposition based on what we're seeing. because we don't have that level of detail. As they release more information, as they look at the scene, as they investigate this further, we should find out, and I'm sure we're going to find out very soon because they killed the shooter. We'll find out what type of weapon the shooter had. They'll find out where the shooter was placed, and they'll be figuring out how the shooter got into position, how the shooter somehow evaded all the security that goes with an event like this. So we're going to find out more and more about this. And again, Secret Service and others will be using this as training for years to come to figure out what could they have done better. And I'm sure at this point, there's many are looking at saying, how did the shooter get to wherever the shooter got? Now, simple rule of thumb, there's no such thing as perfect security. You can't stop every possible scenario. Right. And so that's impossible. And by the way, if you want to go back, not too far back, just a few years, President Maduro in Venezuela, they tried to do an assassination. There was an assassination attempt on him at a big event where they used an armed drone to try and take him out. So there's some very creative stuff out there in the land of assassination and direct action that go beyond what we're more used to seeing. And this, as far as we know, this is more of a traditional type of assassination attempt.
So, Hal, this was something you brought up earlier that I found interesting. So we heard Trump, as he was getting brought back up to his feet, he was saying, I can get my shoes. Can I get my shoes? And you said that is something that is somewhat common for people that are in these emergency situations. What did you mean?
It's interesting. It's a mental association thing. And I'm assuming if he lost his shoes, he probably had slip-on shoes. Okay, now that's purely speculation, but let's just say I do a lot of stuff on podiums with slip-on shoes, and I can imagine if I had to do something like that, I could lose my shoes if I had to take tactical action. All right, so I'm assuming that's what it was, and he's saying, "Hey, look, I want my shoes," because he's a candidate, and in his mind, he wants to show political rally. He wants to show he's strong. He's thinking from a political standpoint. Secret Service has one thing. They want to get him out of there and into the vehicle for protection. And it is not uncommon in these situations that you will find that if you want to call this the victim, will have a different priority, which is like, I got to get my shoes. And of course, Secret Service, that's why they're there. They're like, forget the shoes. Let's get you into the vehicle and get you out of here. We'll worry about your shoes later.
He might worry about shoes. Crazy. Ah, boy. This news is getting boring to me. I'd rather do a musical performance. Big up yourself, Naya. Yeah, man, you can drop the link in the comment section. You already know. Love and respect everybody in the building. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned to GTerra Live. I'll be live officially soon again. Don't know, my showcase, our vibe, community vibes. You know the thing, all the people not a part of the community yet, you don't know. If you love reggae, dancehall music, subscribe right now, see? Don't know. Turn up. Soon.
And it is a perspective. We see that in all kinds of stuff. You see it with whether it's a man-made disaster or event. We see it in natural disasters where people will, someone will want to grab, they'll want to grab a case. That's the problem that they have with airlines all the time. They have to tell people if there's an emergency, do not grab your luggage, do not grab your laptop, do not do this stuff. Because it's an instinctive thing that people want to grab stuff like that. And the thing is, you've got to get them out of harm's way as fast as possible. And so in this case, former President Trump saying, "Hey, I want to get my shoes." They're like, "No, we got to get you out of the kill zone here, right, and get you into the vehicle and get you out of the area."
So, Hal, we're getting a new statement in from the FBI. They say this: FBI personnel are on the scene in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the FBI will continue to work jointly with the U.S. Secret Service as the investigation moves forward. I don't think we've reported this just yet. We're hearing from New York City Mayor Eric Adams and his spokesperson saying that the mayor has been briefed on the incident involving former President Trump in Pennsylvania and continues to get updates. Out of an abundance of caution, the NYPD will be increasing its presence across the city, including at Trump Tower, 40 Wall Street, Foley Square, and City Hall. So 2 Trump properties, one being his residence there. The NYPD is amping up security there in the Big Apple in the wake of this attempted assassination attempt as well here. And so, Hal, I guess the next question goes to, and this must be on the minds of so many, I'm wondering it, Austin's wondering it, who was this person? And we're going to get a profile, I would imagine, very soon. We don't know anything about this suspect. We don't know the age. We don't know the gender. We don't know anything about this suspect here. And so hopefully we'll get some of those details in the next couple of hours. But when you want to talk about assassinations, Hal, a long line. There's a long history of political assassinations and attempts, ones that are not successful, thankfully. But this has been a unfortunate feature of the last 50, 60, 75 years in American history here, Hal. And you want to talk about the Secret Service response and how they are trained for this. Every former president has a Secret Service detail. Every First Lady does. Former presidents' families do as well here. They're trained for this. But, and I don't want to be glib about this, assassination attempts, threats to former presidents and presidents alike come in very, very regularly, do they not?
It's a constant thing. There's people, especially with the online world, the Secret Service, which does a lot of investigations that are in the online realm, as part of what they do with counterfeiting and other things tied to financial crimes. So they're extremely good at it, but they also are extremely good at looking at some of these extremists, some of these others that will put out threats towards protectees, whether they're former presidents or if they are candidates for office. In this case, former President Trump is both. He's a former president and he's a candidate for office, so he has a little bit more robust Secret Service detail than maybe an average candidate would have, say, in the primary season, because of who he is. And certainly he's he's going to be the Republican candidate for president, and so they would amp up his security accordingly because of that. But they train for this. They have a very proactive way of doing this. They when they perceive a threat, they don't wait for something to manifest itself at a rally. They will go out there and talk to someone if they they will do what's sometimes called a knock and talk, where they'll go and have a discussion with them to let them know that they're on the radar, they're watching them. They'll be doing some sort of evaluation, which will go into whatever the threat condition that they need to, or threat posture, and that's part of a threat assessment process that they have, which is very sophisticated, that they work through. So they do all of these things, and then depending on whatever potential threats are in the area, they will adjust certain things with the rally or the event itself based on whatever they perceive the threat to be. And so I'm assuming all of these things were done accordingly, although this individual may not have been on anybody's radar. As people are becoming more sophisticated with what they do and don't do online, they also know to avoid saying things online that in the past would have tripped them up. So this is someone who probably, obviously they got to where they got in terms of positioning with the weapon and doing what they did. So they abated a number of things where they could have been detected earlier. They're going to be looking closely at that as well.
I want to pull up some more reaction. We're hearing from Vice President Harris, who was also campaigning in Pennsylvania today. She was in Philadelphia. She says she's been briefed on the shooting at former President Trump's event in PA. Doug and I are relieved that he is not seriously injured. We are praying for him, his family, and all of those who have been injured and impacted by this senseless shooting. Hal, we're going to leave it at that for now with you. Thank you for your analysis as we cover this developing situation. We are going to play out once again what we witnessed earlier today, and we watched it live as President Trump was holding a mostly run-of-the-mill campaign rally. He was speaking about border issues at the time that this took place. Let's play this out. This is what happened earlier.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Move his hair. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move. Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here, moving his hair.
Get ready.
You ready?
You get yourself done.
Down.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Clear.
Let's move. Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold on. Your head is bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Watch out. Wait.
President Trump being escorted into what's known as the Beast, the presidential vehicle,
And look what happened to our...
with his fist raised, that clip looping back there. So, we have a guest standing by. We have Marvin Jones. He's a former Secret Service agent. And Marvin, I just want to make sure that we're connected. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Thanks for joining us. What do you make of the Secret Service response? I think everyone is clamoring for more information at this time. You have experience protecting the presidents in situations just like this. What do you make of their response?
Well, from the video on the television, the Secret Service did an excellent job of responding. It's difficult to see, but there's a gentleman right of Trump, an agent that's front right on top of him almost instantaneously. When he grabs his ear, it goes down. So I think their response was very good.
So when we talk about an investigation of this magnitude, we hear that a shooter has been killed. We heard that one other spectator in the crowd has been killed. Trump himself has been injured. Where does the Secret Service begin with all this?
Well, the Secret Service is responsible for investigating threats against the President of the United States. And they continue to do that routinely. The public is not aware of how many threats these leaders get, but it's a very large number. What will happen is the FBI has the statutory authority to investigate assassination attempts, and they will be the lead agency on the investigation. But the Secret Service will be there step by step with them, and they'll look into the shooter, his background, and do.
Biden at the house right now making phone calls. Who hired these goddamn shooters?
Extreme detail to find out if he had a conflict.
Big up Brian.
There was a major plot, things like that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the response and what's going to be coming next, I'm curious, what is the protocol for a campaign rally of this size? We know Trump likes big crowds. We know that there were people not only in the audience behind him, but there were also a good amount of people in front of him as well. What is the challenge with securing events of this nature, Marvin?
Sure, those huge crowds, and particularly with the president, the former President Trump, who likes to be with the crowd, in the crowd, exposed to the crowd, puts a real strain on the security measures taken. If there's a venue that can be secured, of course, everyone that comes into the venue is screened for weapons. There should be, and apparently there was in this case, anti-sniper teams on rooftops surrounding the venue. According to your reports, an anti-sniper team took out the shooter. It's very difficult to control all these people. What you don't see is people coming into the venue that are screened. You don't see agents in plain clothes wandering through the crowd, keeping an eye out for a suspicious person. The closer you get to the president, the more agents there are. And those fellows working and ladies working right around the president are giving up their life to protect him. So they're very brave individuals.
What is happening in the Beast, if you will, the vehicle that Trump was ushered into promptly after this happened? We saw it with our own eyes, everything that happened outside. But what takes place as soon as he's in that vehicle and the second they start driving away?
Sure. At least one of the agents will be looking the president over carefully to see if there are any other wounds besides his ear. It was only by the grace of God that this headshot just grazed his ear or his side of his head. But while they're in the Beast, as you say, they'll be looking for other injuries to him. And assuming they don't find any, well, then they'll calm down a little bit and move on to a medical facility where he can be examined by doctors.
Which administrations have you worked under, sir?
I worked for Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter.
And so, can you speak a little bit about your experience with Ford specifically?
Yeah, Jerry Ford was
I'm going to check out one still.
president that wanted to be a man of people. I remember
Stay
we
tuned
did
for
a
G-Terra live official.
parade in
Official.
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, man, stay tuned for the official live show. You know what I mean? I said the real thing, which is me performing some music and connecting with the audience and the community for some topics and real things. You know what I mean? I said real life happenings and experiences and learning and growth and all type of different. You want to know the vibes? You know, people. I made that for go live when I went a break earlier, just for, you know, make some people know because at first me never know exactly what happened, but they just come out like, yo, him get shot. No, I don't really know if a graze or a catch up and I don't know. I don't know. But we're there over here relaxed on this, you know, this there chilling and this news come true. I don't think I was planning to go live at all either. You know, man, I see me just kick back to them on a Saturday. You know? Yeah, man. I catch some vibe over the weekend. You know, I got sometimes I have to do on a strong, wholesome vibe, go to the beach, you know. Some different things. Get off of the phone a little bit. Go out there in the world and go do some things in the real life. There's a real world out there, you know. You know. Sometimes we go live, so I want to make some flex. But big up everybody out there right now. You don't know. Love and respect to each and everyone. Don't want to subscribe and stay tuned. See, you don't want too much about that one right now, everybody. It's going to be all over the place right now. You know what I mean? I say chomp everywhere. You know, get shot. It look like they try to create a kind of hero moment out there. I don't know. It look kind of, I'm skeptical. But you know, I don't know what I'm going. Red Diamond. I don't know. You tell me what you think.
He wanted to be in an open limousine to show that, I assume that he wasn't afraid of Dallas. But please remember that President Kennedy was assassinated there in Dallas. And that was a very tense time. We secured the rooftop, the parade route, all kinds of security measures to see to it that he was safe. And it worked out, thank God for that.
So, what is the pressure with being a Secret Service agent when you're in these high pressure environments, sir?
The pressure is so thick you can cut it with a knife. You know that there are bad people out there that would love to do harm to the president, and it's your job to get it right every time. You don't get a second chance.
All right, my colleague Andrew Kraft joining me here, and Andrew, I know you have some questions as well.
Hi, Marvin, Andrew Kraft here. I just wanted to ask you this, and you mentioned that you worked for the Secret Service during the Ford administration. Of course, history reminds us that Gerald Ford was also the subject of an assassination attempt as well here. I wanted to ask you, we're also getting new details in, according to Jay Gibson at the Department of Justice. Federal law enforcement source saying we know the shooter is dead and that an AR-style rifle was recovered at the scene. Marvin, my question to you is this the right time to ask how the Secret Service missed this. We're getting reports that the shooter was not in the crowd, was not even in the venue itself, was outside the venue. Obviously, the actions of the Secret Service are laudable. They saved the president. They whisked him away here. But to your point, the Secret Service trains for these moments each and every day here. Is there some soul searching that's going to have to go on within the organization here, or is it too early? Should we let the investigation proceed here? Should we be asking that question? How did the Secret Service let something like this happen today?
Well, that is a good question. After every event that the president is involved in, there's always a debriefing by the team that is responsible for the security. In this particular case, it's very difficult to say without additional information whether the Secret Service has let something slip through the cracks or not. It's highly unlikely that happened. They are so professional and so detailed, right down to the manhole covers and things like that. So it really is going to take time to sort out and investigate what actually happened before anyone can point fingers.
But Marvin, you're saying that there are possibilities and contingencies that something can slip through the cracks like we saw today. You're saying, and I know this, the Secret Service, they plan for things like this. They check all of the boxes, they cross their T's, they dot their I's with this, but yet something like this happened. So do we have to ask ourselves, was something missed?
I think it's premature to say that. I think you should wait until all the facts are in before making that kind of a determination.
They calling him President Trump.
And we will do that.
And I'll add one more thing in here. We're just getting some
They already calling him president. It's like a media campaign to. It's like some background lobbyists plan to put him in a power seat again, you know. I don't know, but according to my partners here right here on the channel right now, you know, they must see things, you know, and hear things, you know. In a 4D. Big up preparing for eternity. Yeah, they might call him president. I mean, he was president already still. So.
Next from Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News correspondent, saying an FBI fly team is en route to Butler, Pennsylvania to conduct an assassination investigation, Secret Service officials tell Fox News. How does an investigation of this sort begin, Marvin? An assassination attempt investigation is going to be no small undertaking. Where do they start?
Well, because the shooter has been killed, and obviously they have his remains in custody, they will start with that and work their way backwards to where he's from, who his associates are, what the weapon was, that kind of thing. It'll be an extremely intense investigation.
All right. Well, we do appreciate your time today. That was Marvin Jones. He's a former Secret Service agent. Thank you, sir. Take care.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Okay, so what we want to do next is we'll play through what exactly we saw earlier today. We play the images on the screen, but it's better served playing this with the audio so you get the full idea of how this thing transpired. You hear the pops, you hear Trump himself and his Secret Service detail that are huddled together right behind that podium, that live microphone. So you hear a little bit of that. Let's play it.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
As the things the people of us replay, you kind of play replay mode right now as them keep on going and going what this, how the live station is doing. And I'll continue to do that. So me still I gotta check out because I don't know, so my thing is really not about them things still. But me do it because we know a lot of people interested in these things. And it was surprising because my mother did say something about Trump getting, it's like she said something about somebody gonna kill Trump, And then somebody never said some type of reading, Krista. somebody does some type of reading about Trump getting killed or something like that. Yeah. No, I'm asking if or was it the Simpsons cartoon predictions or something? Something we said something with Trump or Daily Night. I don't know, I remember what it is, but you know, it was just like, yeah, reoccurring thoughts, you know. But yeah, people are gonna leave that one here, right there, so. Big up yourself, you know, preparing for eternity, more life, blessings, Juicy, Lucy, Nathan, Brian, Rare Diamond, Fish Dan, big up yourself, you know, I say Naya TV, Byron, Omar, the whole link, Simmak, Marina. Yeah man, love and respect, Kervin, big up yourself, you know what I say? Mark Truth, you know. Talk Truth, Malkut X. Crazy, I name them mad. Yeah man, big up everybody, I'm out of here, you know what I say? Subscribe and stay tuned, big up yourself. Yo Kervin, this information is crazy, my bro. Yeah man, I don't know what, yeah, me just have to just take tune in and watch what's going on, you know? Yeah man, I'm going live again soon. Can't tell you exactly when, if it's tonight or tomorrow, but definitely going live again soon. Big up everyone, you just want to get, make them know what I'm going to do, you think it's real or fake. Trump get shot or shot at, I don't know I don't know. I mean, it seems real, somebody died behind it, so, you know, I can't, you know, I don't have any information as far as, you know, evidence to know the facts on this thing right here. A serious thing I'm going right now. Trump get popped at. One of my bus shot, one of my try bust Trump head open. Wow. Yeah. One of them trying to bust Trump head curving, it's real, eh? Crazy. Yeah, I'm coming, I'm coming. Rare Diamond, big up yourself. You don't know, we live soon again, people. You don't know, subscribe and stay tuned. Respect and love to everybody. Yeah man, we're do the official thing. We just still want to pass through to drop off the information. Yeah man, you don't know, respect and love to the whole community, the whole team, ODT, Dream Team. No schooling. Yeah, family. Big up Kerbin, big up Rare Diamond, you know anything. In a bit. Forward again soon, you know? Yeah fam.